is what we do. And they were jawing back. They were talking a little, junk back and forth. And the Rams entered into who they are, and that has not been the Rams' MO. They've always been a team that they handle business and turn back around and celebrate with their teammates. And you get some guys in some situations that, Dante Dion hasn't played a lot this season or throughout his career. He gets excited, but you don't have to, the emphasis in the NFL this year is what? Taunting. So why would I taunt? That's going to cost you, now it's going to cost you some money in your pocket now. Not only is it 15 yards during the game, but now they also, they fine you for taunting scenarios. So this was one that, that overall, look, Jalen Ramsey played an outstanding game. I mean, they shied away from him after that first interception for him. That was it. They were like, we're done. Yeah, we're not going after him. And
let's try the other side.
Yeah, they went after Darius Williams. They went after Robert Rochelle. They went after Dante Dion. And the guys struggled today. And look, I said it before, they'll be okay, but they sure do look like they need some Von Miller.
Yeah, Von Miller would have been a nice addition tonight, and it just seemed like it was one of those. We'll talk about this. Yeah. This was a very weird week in the NFL. You had 4 teams that were a touchdown or more favorite that lost outright today. This happens in the NFL. All of a sudden, there's a week where just nothing really seems to add up and make sense. This may be one of these things. And, oh, by the way, Kirk, it may just be this. Tennessee might just be really, really good.
Yeah.
You look at the last 4 games that they've played, they've beat 4 very good teams, and we'll talk about that coming up when we come back on the Coors Light Postgame Show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
All right, Rams fans, huddle up. If your home game needs an upgrade, look no further.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN. Don't miss the Coors Light Postgame Show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA Sports Talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning, now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour. Now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan. Hit it!
The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN.
25, returned on the left sideline for a touchdown. And back-to-back takeaways for this Tennessee defense.
Rams slipped to 7-2.
We recap Rams Titans from SoFi Stadium.
This is the Coors Light Postgame Show, live at Hollywood Park Casino.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Hi, this is Sean Mcveigh of your LA Rams.
The Rams play here.
Leave it all on the field. 1, 2, 3. Put it all here.
We get you closer to all that went down right now on the Coors Light Postgame Show.
Coors Light.
Keeping Southern California chill all season long.
The Coors Light Postgame Show.
Here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
28-16 is the final score. The Tennessee Titans all over the L.A. Rams. And, Kirk, we've talked a lot about what the Rams did not do well today, and there were numerous things that they did not do well today. But let's just take a second and talk about Tennessee. Tennessee's good.
They're good.
This is not just this was not the Houston Texans. This was not the Detroit Lions or one of those teams that we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Here are the last 4 wins in a row for the Tennessee Titans. They won against the Buffalo Bills, who a lot of people think are the best team in the conference. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat the Indianapolis Colts on the road. Always hard to win on the road in the NFL. And they came into SoFi Stadium today and put it on the Rams 28-16.
We're a good football team, and I think today proved it. Shout out Mike Vrabel. I mean, we're talking about all the things that the Titans did, but they were, to me, an image of their coach. Their coach, all week long, there was no panic. There was no feeling sorry for yourself. How many teams lose a Derrick Henry, and all of a sudden they're looking around? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? All they did was look on the waiver wire. They went and grabbed Adrian Peterson, Deonta Foreman, and they said, well, we have a quarterback we believe in. We still have A.J. Brown. We still got Julio Jones, and we got a tough, physical offensive line that wants to rough people up. And we got a defense that's still finding its way. But they play opportunistic. This was probably one of their better wins on the national scale, because some people are going to say, well, did the Rams lose or did the Titans win? The Titans won this football game. This was not the Rams. It was not their day, because the Titans, they came to play. They came to play from the opening whistle. You know what I mean? And when they say, hey, we wanted to defer, they gave the ball to the Rams, and you saw what happened really quickly. They got the ball right back. And it was really what they did in the first half that really separated this game for both teams.
And, of course, the Rams got off to a really bad start as well. We saw arguably I don't even want to say we saw the worst decision that we've seen Matthew Stafford make all season long. He's under pressure in his own end zone. He's about to be sacked for a safety, which would have been the better option here. Instead, he just kind of throws the ball into the middle of the field. The ball's easily intercepted, run back to near the goal line, and they go in one play later for a touchdown. Rams go back out on the field after that, and within a couple of plays, a pick six going back the other way. So he gave them 2 very easy touchdowns right out of the gate, Kirk. I know that it's easy to say, take these off the board, add it over here, but they put themselves in a really big hole. You take that out of there. This was a pretty even game. It wasn't a pretty game. It was kind of an ugly game on both sides, but those 2 mistakes from Matthew Stafford were catastrophic.
Those two mistakes is what cost them the football game. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to hear what he says, because this was a game in which people in Detroit warned us that you'll have a couple of these now, and I think we hadn't seen it before. We're like, no, Matthew's been great. He can't have one of those games. He threw 2 bad throws, and they resulted in basically 14 points for the Tennessee Titans. Throws that I didn't think he even had. I mean, it brought back shades of what we've seen before. And I don't even think that we've seen Jared Goff throw a pass that bad in the end zone.
It was very Jared Goff reminiscent of because, look, Matthew Stafford has not only played well this season, he's on the short list of NFL MVP candidates. I mean, he's literally one of the betting favorites, coming into this weekend. But that was just one of those head-scratching moments. Like, I get it. Nobody wants to take a sack. Nobody wants to get tackled in their own end zone. But throwing the ball in the middle of the field like that's just one of those what are you thinking moments.
Yeah. Just a gaffe, just a moment of kind of got lost in where he was at too on the field. You're inside the end zone, like, oh, okay, I'm going down. Let me try to make a play, but there was no play to be made. And I think if he could probably play that play over, he probably would have just accepted the sack and then allowed Johnny Hekker to go out and boom one. And then, hey, don't make matters worse. You're already in a tough predicament. It's okay. They got us, but move on. But when you make a play like that, I'd rather give up 2 than 7. That's honestly what it came down to. When you look at the final score, I know it says 28-16, but the Rams had an opportunity that probably would have been a lot different going for a possible go-ahead score at the end rather than still being down by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, knowing that they needed to get a couple of touchdowns in the fourth quarter with only about 8 minutes to go changed the game entirely as opposed to chasing a field goal or maybe just 1 touchdown along the way. Sean McVeigh, the head coach, spoke with J.B. Long and Maurice Jones-Drew after the loss.
Welcome back to SoFi Stadium, where the Titans defeat the Rams 28-16. Sean McVeigh joins us from the L.A. locker room. Coach, we felt like there were a lot of good things going your team's way before kickoff, but physicality can be the great equalizer in this game. Do you feel like Tennessee had the better of that tonight?
You know what? I think I didn't do nearly a good enough job. I think it was the turnovers and penalties that really got us. You know, we were behind the sticks. We turned the ball over. They did a good job of capitalizing on that. I thought our defense played well enough early on, and, unfortunately, we didn't get it done, and I think this one falls on me.
How does the locker room feel about taking this one in prime time at home?
Yeah, I think, humility is only a week away in this league. We got the right kind of guys. We're going to respond. We're going to go back to work. It's all I know how to do, and, setbacks are just setups for comebacks.
We saw Matthew Stafford come back from an ankle injury. Looks like he's going to be able to progress. Any other injury of immediate concern based off of tonight's action?
Not that I know of.
Sean McVeigh following a 28-16 defeat at home. Thank you. We'll pick up the conversation tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
All right, that's Sean McVeigh with JB after the game, and you can tell, obviously, he's down, and he said it. Humility is only a week away in this league. Kirk, take me through what it's like, especially for a team like the Rams, a good team, a team that has playoff aspirations, a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. Is it as easy as, just sometimes it's not your week and it's not meant to be turn the page and go back to work? Or does a loss like this, especially a loss like this, where you are physically controlled throughout most of the night, stick with you?
You don't want it to, but it can. But I think so many guys on this team probably sick to their stomach knowing that they didn't play the game that they wanted. And now you're going to have over a week to really think about it now. You don't play next Sunday. You're playing Monday. So you get an extra day to kind of let this fester a little bit. Does this now give you a little more, you feel more inclined to go play a Von Miller on Monday Night Football? You know what I mean? Like, I thought that this would be the juice that they needed. Hey, Von Miller's coming in. Everything was going to be great. It's all fun. It was all fun. But I think you still got to go out there and go win games. Last week was fun. You blew out the Houston Texans, and then you get Von Miller, and now Aaron Donald smiling, and the whole team, and oh man, we're good. We're Super Bowl contenders, and then boom, you get knocked back down to reality against a team like Tennessee without their running back. They should have been the ones that have been. What are we going to do?
Flat-footed.
Yeah, and they came out on fire.
Yeah, no, they came out and they looked like the hungrier team tonight for sure. Tennessee improves to 7-2. The Rams fall to 7-2. 28-16 is the final score. I want to talk a little bit about the schedule, both what's behind them and both what's coming up next. That's all straight ahead on the Coors Light Postgame Show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
$710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN. Don't miss the Coors Light Postgame Show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA sports talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Live and local Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour. Now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan.
Hit it! The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN. We get you closer to all that went down right now on the Coors Light Postgame Show.
Coors Light, keeping Southern California chill all season long.
On the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
This is the Coors Light Postgame Show, live at Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Once again, here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
28-16 is final score. Titans beat the Rams. Rams are now 7-2. Next up, the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football, 1 week from tomorrow night. Kirk, before we get into a little bit more on the Rams schedule, let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the ESPN LA Radio, Rams Radio Network.
KSPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles. We are the voice of LA.
Look, you can only play your schedule that they give you, and you got to play them in the order that they give them to you in. But is there something, Kirk, about the fact that the Rams have had 3 consecutive opponents heading into tonight that are not playoff teams, that are not teams that are, I don't want to say not competing because they come to compete, but they're not competing for playoff spots. Did the Rams just kind of fall into a groove where they were getting used to that type of competition, and all of a sudden Tennessee, who's not just good but potentially very good, come in and get them?
Yeah, I don't think they fell to the competition because they did what they were supposed to do, right? Against, last week against the Houston Texans, they were up 38-0, in the third quarter. Mm-hmm. So they took care of business in that aspect. When it came to the Lions, they survived that one, but you got to think about what the Lions were doing to them. I mean, we're talking about punts, fake punts and onside kicks and going forwards, and that was something that we had never seen before. And in the game prior to that was the New York Giants, and they blew the Giants out. So they did what they were supposed to do in terms of the teams they played against, but it was just a different style today against the Titans. And I just thought the Rams' game plan was probably not as fluid. They went into a lot of empty formation, and that's one of their main formations. And I was saying, okay, how were they going to do this? Would they be able to block up front? They couldn't block the 4-man rush. And Matthew Stafford just didn't have his he wasn't on his A game today because I saw him miss some throws. I saw him also, take some sacks, and I thought that he's a guy that would get the ball out quickly. Did not happen today.
Did the Rams run the ball enough? Darrell Henderson, in the first half, he had about 50 yards. He finished the game with only 55 yards, 11 carries, but that's a 5-yard per carry average. It did feel like they were having some success on the ground. Now, I get it. Going into the second half, you're chasing. You need to score. You need to score quickly. Maybe it's a little more difficult, but it did feel like there were some opportunities on the ground.
The commitment to the running game is not there. It's just not there. And maybe you could say, oh, it's because they were down early, 14-0. Or 14-3. I just don't – I didn't see it. I thought I wanted to see more of a commitment of them just running the football, getting to some third and mediums. That's what he talked about. He said, yeah, we didn't win third down. We didn't win in the early downs, but I thought you did win in the early downs. I felt like you just got a little too pass happy. And when you do that, you kind of suffer for it. You're down there inside the 10-yard line and you're throwing a fade ball to Van Jefferson. I've never seen Van Jefferson catch a fade yet.
Yeah.
By the way, in the end zone. You don't have that type of player. That's not what you have. Maybe you throw it to Tyler Higbee or somebody else, but not that play to him. Or try to run the football down there. Didn't do any of those. So, you get what you asked for, right? That's what you asked for. You fell right into, I thought, the Tennessee Titans' hands because that's what they wanted to do.
Well, we've seen it with the Kansas City Chiefs this year as well, where they're playing a couple of guys very deep and they're forcing them to throw the ball short. They're forcing them to take some check downs along the way. And it feels a little bit like that's what happened to the Rams today. And look, the Ram offense is what it is. We know we've seen it under Sean McVay for a variety of years, and we've seen them hit big play after big play and a couple of crosses over the middle that go for big gains. But it does seem that when that stuff's not there, they really struggle to kind of find a secondary gear. When the big play isn't happening, all of a sudden they keep trying to push the ball down the field.
Well, do they have the patience to methodically move down the field? See, it's a little bit easier when you have a couple drives that work early on for you and you're doing what you're supposed to do. But when you don't have it going on for you early, Travis, now you're trying to press. You're trying to hopefully get those types of plays. The Rams didn't get those types of plays today. They didn't take the singles when they were there. Take a couple singles and a double. You'll get the home runs eventually. But you know what? Maybe just today is not that game. Maybe we have to play down to what Tennessee is doing. We may have to play their style of football just for the game. That's what I told you. I circled this game in the beginning of the year when the schedule first came out, and I saw the Rams, prime time schedule. I circled it because I was like, man, that's going to be an interesting matchup. November 7th, Sunday.
Very different styles.
Because it was two different styles. And how would the Rams handle that style of football the Titans bring? Would the Rams match their style? I thought that the Rams should have matched the style. So you know what? We can play a muddy game too. We can play a game that's not about an arsenal attack, but it's about which line of scrimmage will be won. I thought that the Titans' line of scrimmage was dominated on both sides. They got great push offensively on their offensive line. They got great knockback defensively, and they forced the Rams into some uncomfortable situations.
Each time the Rams lose a game, you can almost write the script for what Sean McVay is going to say.
Correct. I got to be better.
We got to do better. I got to put us in better position. I got to make sure that I had some bad play calls.
Always.
Is that what he's talking about? Because he has a style, and he seems committed to that style, despite the fact that sometimes it's like, hey, maybe a stylistic change might work a little bit. Running the ball might work a little bit. He's obviously a very smart guy. He's obviously a very good coach, but it does feel like in those moments there's a little bit of that blind spot where, let's try something else.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like he should have, and he didn't really change it up. And that's why I thought they were forced to play that game. I mean, honestly, that's the tough part. That's the tough part where he didn't really have something different than what he explained.
The player of the game is presented by Verizon. With 5G built right for the Rams, Los Angeles can scream, stream, and share every play in Verizon 5G quality. Who was the player of the game tonight, Kirk?
Had a huge game today for the Rams. I think the player of the game is Penalties. He had 12 for 115. I'm just being real. Everybody's looking for a player, but I mean, Penalties is also in the Rams stat sheet. 12 penalties for 115 yards. Think about it. 115 yards in penalties compared to what the Titans had total yards. They had total 194. So you almost matched their total in yards with just your penalty yards. And I think those are just what were accepted penalties.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the ones that they didn't accept.
Hey, look, we were talking about it all night long. The Titans really didn't move the ball on
They
the
didn't.
Rams. There were a couple of bad throws from Matthew Stafford that led to 14 points.
Yeah.
There were some opportunistic penalties for the Rams where Tennessee was able to keep some drives going. But other than one drive, the Titans really did not move the ball up and down the field, which I guess if there's a silver lining, maybe that's one of the things that you're looking for. 28-16, the final score from SoFi Stadium. The Titans beat the Rams. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look around the west of Week 9 in the NFL in a very, very weird NFL weekend. That's next on the Coors Light Postgame Show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN. Don't miss the Coors Light Postgame Show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Ram's house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA Sports Talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour. Now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan. Hit it!
The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN.
Titans in victory formation. Ryan Tannehill improves to 3-0 against the Rams. 2 victories with Miami, 1 now with Tennessee. The Rams fall to 7-2.
This is the Coors Light Postgame Show, live at Hollywood Park Casino.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Coors Light Postgame Show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
Coors Light, keeping Southern California chill all season long.
Once again, here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
28-16, the final score from SoFi Stadium. The Titans beat the Rams. Both teams now 7-2, heading into Week 10 of the NFL season, which is coming up here for the Rams a week from tomorrow night. They'll have the Monday night game up in the Bay Area against the San Francisco 49ers, who have always given the Rams a hard time. The good news is, I guess if you're looking for a silver lining here, the Rams almost always bounce back from a substandard performance with a much better one the following week. So let's take a look around what was a pretty weird Week 9 in the NFL, delivered by the one and only stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. Get a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza, and we'll stuff the crust with gooey, melty, delicious cheese. Order now at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut. All right, so here was one of the weird ones early today. The Broncos, who came in at a 500 4-4 against the Dallas Cowboys, who were 6-1. One of those other teams in the NFC that you knew that the Rams were going to have to compete with at some point. Broncos all over the Cowboys today, 30-16.
Yeah, this was a game that the Broncos, think about what their week looked like. They had just traded away their franchise player. The guy who helped lead them was the Super Bowl MVP of Super Bowl 50. They traded away Von Miller. So you think the players all week long, they heard what? What's this team doing?
What are you going to do now?
What are you going to do? I mean, are you playoff contenders or is it a fire sale? I thought this was a huge win for Vic Fangio, for his team. Remember, they started off 3-0, and they lost the next 4 in a row. And they came back and won today, and I think this was huge just for the psyche of this team, right? Because I thought before, I didn't know where Denver was heading. Now all of a sudden, they're at 5-4, and they're right there in the thick of it. They're in the hunt of it, and I think they're getting better. Teddy Bridgewater played a pretty good game today, and they beat a Dallas Cowboys team that a lot of people said was at the top of the AFC. I mean, the top of the NFC. And so I was thinking, just because I know we're going to get into some more games, but the Rams lost to a really good football team in the Tennessee Titans. I think we have to start giving them their flowers right now. At the halfway point, they're sitting right up there at 7-2. Give them their flowers. They've done a good job. But let's look. When you look at the NFC, there's just not a dominant team.
Not even Arizona?
Not even. I think Arizona, we're still on the fence about it. And maybe so because Kyler Murray's injured, but yet they won despite not having
Scored 31 points without Kyler Murray today.
That's what the NFL is all about. Anytime that you say, and I got to get back to this, Travis. I feel like I've been messing up. I feel like I've been messing up. With when someone tells you why they're going to lose, I'm going to tell you why they're going to win. Why not tell me why they're going to win? Because so many people this week came in saying, oh yeah, the Titans are going to lose. They're going to lose because they don't have Derrick Henry. And I kept trying to figure out in my mind, well, I think they can win because they still got a pretty decent defense. Not great, but decent.
Yeah.
They've beaten some teams that are good teams in the league, right? They just beat the Colts. You remember they just beat the
Kansas City,
Kansas
the Bills.
City Chiefs. They've beaten some top-tier teams. Oh, yeah, they've got a head coach who's unafraid.
No.
He's not scared to let him, go out there and let him go. You know what I mean?
No, they did a great job tonight. I mean, they came in and they controlled that game from the opening snap, and it creates a whole bunch of confusion up and down, both in the AFC and the NFC as well. Let's move on to this one, Kirk, because here's another NFC team that maybe wasn't quite in that mix with Tampa and with the Rams and with Arizona and those teams, but just below it, these New Orleans Saints, they lose again today, they fall to 5-3. The Falcons beat them 27-25, and all of a sudden, don't look now, the Atlanta Falcons have poked their head into the playoff picture.
Yeah, right now they're the 7th seed. Right now they've come back and they're doing things, and they did it without their number one receiver, Calvin Ridley, who had to step away from the team for a little bit for a personal matter. I mean, Matt Ryan, look, after week 1, I overreacted. I said, they probably should have drafted a quarterback. Matt Ryan is washed, but they wouldn't got Kyle Pitts, and now that seems to be the right decision. They got a playmaker at the tight end wide receiver spot. Matt Ryan is still throwing dimes out there, and they have a running game combined together that they just have a nice little offense. Just so happens they took the offensive coordinator from the Titans and made him their head coach, and they're kind of playing with that same mentality, getting things together. I mean, it wasn't pretty early on, but they just kept knocking it down, just kept, brick by brick, and now they sit themselves right now at 500.
343 yards, couple of touchdowns for Matt Ryan today. The Raiders obviously coming off of a terrible week for them.
Yeah.
The Henry Ruggs situation obviously going to cause all sorts of issues inside that organization. The Giants beat them 23-16. The Raiders are now 5-3. And Kirk, I can't figure out if the Raiders are good or not, because it felt like after John Gruden was let go, walked away, however we want to characterize that the Raiders kind of found their groove a little bit. They'd won a couple of games with Rich Bisaccia as their head coach, but then obviously this week with incredible extenuating circumstances, they lose to the Giants.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I still don't know where this team is at. And today was one of those days where, as much as we had a day like that for Matthew Stafford, I think the Raiders fans can also say they had a day like that for Derek Carr, who was 30 for 46, 296, 1 touchdown, but it was 2 interceptions, and one of those interceptions was a pick six.
Yeah.
So he had a similar day to what Matthew Stafford had, and you're scratching your head saying, what? Because you're not supposed to have those games. You're not allowed to have those games. And yet it happened, and it was the end result of the game. I mean, they lost 23-16. You take away that pick six, it's a little bit different. You win the game.
No, they're the NFC, the AFC, and look, here's another one. The Bills lose today to Jacksonville. They were a 2-touchdown favorite They lose that game 9-6. Nobody gets into the end zone in that game. All field goals across the board. And I think that most people coming into this weekend, Kirk, would have said, who's the best team in the AFC? The Buffalo Bills. They've got Josh Allen at the quarterback. They've got offensive weapons. The defense is opportunistic. Right now, I'm not so sure that Tennessee hasn't established themselves as the best team in the AFC.
No, I agree with you on that one, but man, there's something about the Baltimore Ravens that it's hard for me to push them down that pecking order because they're similar to what I talk about with the Titans. They have an identity. They know who they are. They're not going to change. And case in point for them is that they lost 3 running backs to start the season. They brought in 3 running backs to still run what they've set up, run their culture, their identity. Same thing I'm saying from the Titans, man. They're running their same identity even without Derrick Henry. So I still believe that right now Baltimore is the best team in the AFC because there's just something about Tennessee yet. I don't know what it is. Why aren't you buying
Buffalo? Why not Buffalo?
Because Josh Allen still hasn't taken care of the football. I want to see him take care of the football a little bit more. He didn't do that today, and that is still something that he has to get out of his system.
And then, of course, you got Kansas City beating the Packers 13-7, and Jordan Love's debut as a starting quarterback in the NFL, not good. 19-34, 190 yards, and really did not play well. And the Chiefs may have won that game, Kirk, but I think this was another brick in the wall saying, no, the Chiefs just are not right. The Chiefs just do not look like a championship-caliber team playing against a short-staffed Green Bay Packers team as well. We can come back and talk a little bit more about that one as well. We're going to talk about what the Rams have coming up next. Of course, that would be Monday Night Football against the San Francisco Giants. That's straight ahead on the Coors Light Postgame Show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN. Don't miss the Coors Light Postgame Show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA sports talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Live and local. Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour. Now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan. Hit it!
The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN.
25, returned down the left sideline for a touchdown. And back-to-back takeaways for this Tennessee defense.
Rams slipped to 7-2.
We recap Rams Titans from SoFi Stadium.
This is the Coors Light Postgame Show, live at Hollywood Park Casino.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Hi, this is Sean McVeigh of your LA Rams.
The Rams play here. Leave it all on the field. 1, 2, 3. Get it all here. We get you closer to all that went down right now on the Coors Light Postgame Show.
Coors Light.
Keeping Southern California chill all season long.
The Coors Light Postgame Show.
Here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
28-16, that's final score. The Titans beat the Rams. Both teams are 7-2. Tennessee is on top of the AFC. Kirk, they are the number 1 seed right now. If the playoffs started today, you and I both like that. The whole
I love
if
it.
They started today,
I love that.
Rams would be the number 5 seed, still in a really good position. They're still very much in control of their own destiny. But they got to go up to San Francisco next week. They got the Monday night game, so back-to-back primetime games for the Rams. They'll take on the Niners next Monday. The Niners are going to come in 3-5. The Niners are 0-4 at home. They have not won a game in front of their home fans all season long. This is a team that was supposed to compete for a playoff spot. This is a team that was in the Super Bowl not that long ago, and it seems like things are going bad for them again. The Rams are going to get a very desperate San Francisco team come Monday night.
Yeah, something's got to give, right, for the 49ers. They're going to finally win a home game or
be 0-5 at home.
Ooh, that's going to be tough. And so you have two teams that are kind of still on different opposite ends of the spectrum. The 49ers are just trying to find some kind of consistency. The Rams just lost to a good team. I mean, that's what I think they're going to find when they watch, the film is that, hey, we had penalties, we had turnovers, and they just wanted it more than we did. When it comes to the 49ers, they're trying to figure out who they are as a team. I mean, they had the quarterback flip-flopping earlier in the year between Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. And, their running back situation, Raheem Mostert has been injured, so they've been going with Elijah Mitchell, and you got Trey Sermon has been in the doghouse. Brandon Ayuk has been in the doghouse.
Kittle's been hurt.
He returned today. Deebo Samuel's been a little bit banged up, but he comes back and he's been killing the Rams in years past. So that's why I think that this matchup is going to be so critical for both teams because, for the Rams, they don't want to be, they want to finally win. It's kind of like the Clippers and the Lakers, where I feel like the Rams are the Lakers, and obviously San Fran is kind of the Clippers, but they've beaten the Rams the last 4 times, and so people are just like, well, what's this all about?
Yeah, what is that all about?
Right.
Because I get it, and there's something. I think we saw a good example of it tonight. That sometimes there are just some matchups that are bad matchups for you. There are some matchups that just somebody does something that you do not handle particularly well. I think we saw it tonight against Tennessee. Is that what the kryptonite has been for the 49ers against the Rams? And you look at Sean McVay's record against pretty much everybody in the league other than the San Francisco 49ers. It's pretty sparkling. Why have they struggled with San Francisco the way they have?
I would say before, not even why they've struggled, I just feel like the San Francisco 49ers, they don't come in with a feeling of, we feel that we can win. They know they can win.
Yeah.
That's how they've played against the Rams of recent years. Like, we know we can win. You had that Super Bowl year where they just were just outstanding. Last year, even when they were up and down, they still beat the Rams, even with a backup quarterback. Remember, Nick Mullins came and beat the Rams last year against Jared Goff. So I think that's why this year the matchup is going to be a little bit different because I do want to see, can Matthew Stafford rebound? Can he rebound? And I kind of made this point with you during the game, but Matthew Stafford ain't been playing no primetime games like he's playing now. This ain't the Thanksgiving morning game no more. You know what I mean? We know about the Detroit Lions.
Turkey.
Yeah. Y'all was the appetizer, Everybody else cooking Thanksgiving dinner. And the Detroit Lions playing right now. We ain't even cooking yet. Y'all still thawing food out when the Lions is playing here on the West Coast. But, Matthew Stafford is going to be in a situation where he's playing in highly criticizable games, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he's never played in a ton of them. He may get one or two there, but these are now games that he's going to play, and people are going to criticize every single throw. It was good when no one was watching. No one's watching against the Texans. No one was watching against the Lions and the Giants.
Yep.
Oh, we were watching today, and I think a lot of people were saying, wait, You got rid of the old guy for this?
Yeah, today was not a good argument on behalf of that particular moment. I've been on that a lot, both on this show with you and on my other show as well. Just the Jared Goff and the upgrade that they got there today was not one of those days. And look, until he wins some of those games, until you go into San Francisco on Monday night, a week from tonight, and play like you've seen him play. And look, and he's had good games against good teams. We saw him against Tampa. He looked really good. We've seen him in some other moments, like against Seattle, where a little bit of a rough start, but after that, very, very good after that. I think everybody thinks that Seattle is a pretty good team along the way. But you're right. Until we see some of these primetime games, and not just do you win them, not just play a little bit better, but those two moments today, I mean, they really, Sean McVeigh said it, we heard from him a little while ago, the turnovers. Well, both turnovers were courtesy of Matthew Stafford. One was just a straight-up old-fashioned pick six, and the other one was he was getting dragged down in the end zone for a safety, and instead of just taking the medicine and moving on, he just kind of threw the ball up for grabs in the middle of the field, intercepted by the Titans, run back to about the 2-yard line. From that point, they go in right there. Tonight was a very Jared Goff-y sort of performance from Matthew Stafford, and until we see him win some games like this, I think it's a fair question to ask.
Yeah, I like how you put that Jared Goff-y type game. It was. But he's got to put those behind him and move forward. You're only as good as your next game. They got another opportunity on Monday night, another showcase in front of the country, and they play well. You can kind of put that behind you because we went over a couple of the games, and I'm saying of the teams that you mentioned that were favored by 7 points or more, who had the worst loss of week number 9?
9, yeah. It's not the Rams.
It's not the Rams.
No.
The Rams lost to a team that leads the AFC.
Well, the Rams lost to a 7-2 team.
Correct. And it didn't look good, but still, they lost to a team that is 7-2 and leads the AFC.
So what's the answer to that question? Is it Buffalo losing to Jacksonville 9-6? Is that the easy one, considering they were not only a touchdown favorite, they were a 2-touchdown favorite?
2-touchdown favorite, and they were going against the number 1 offense in the NFL, and they held them to 0 touchdown. They kept them out of the end zone. That is a job well done. I think with Denver, again, that's a tough one too, because no one expected Denver to go in after the week that they had, having to trade away their best player. So I think that's a good one just for the listeners tomorrow. Who had the worst loss of the weekend?
Do you think we see Von Miller against the 49ers? You thought that he wasn't going to play tonight. You were right about that. And then you thought, you might not even see him on Monday night against the Niners. Going to make sure that he's 100% healthy, get him for the stretch drive, get him ready for the playoffs. But do you think, considering what happened tonight, that he goes Monday against the Niners?
I think you now have some time, right? You have about 7 days in between, so I would think that you could possibly see him. But if not, I'm not worried about it, because you'll probably see him maybe against the Green Bay Packers. Because if you don't play him this week, then you have to have, if you don't play him this week, you got to bye after that. And then you have the Packers after that. That gives him about 3 solid weeks for his ankle to heal, and I think that helps him out.
Rams lose 28-16 to the Tennessee Titans. Both teams 7-2. We got a lot more to get to. And Caroling, we're going to hear from Sean McVeigh, Aaron Donald, Andrew Whitworth, and Matthew Stafford. That's all coming up on our flagship station, 710 ESPN. This has been the Coors Light Postgame Show on the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction,
and you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN. Don't miss the Coors Light Postgame Show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA sports talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour. Now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan. Hit it!
The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN. Post-game show kicks off.
Whose house? Rams house.
This is the Coors Light Postgame Show, live at Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Now,
here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
28-16 is the final score from SoFi Stadium. The Titans beat the Rams. Both teams now 7-2, heading to Week 10 of the NFL season, where the Rams will be in San Francisco on Monday Night Football 1 week from tomorrow night. And Kirk, this one got off to kind of a weird start because the Rams and their offensive line have been very, very good so far this season. They've kept Matthew Stafford remarkably clean through the first 7 games of the season, but 2 sacks on the opening drive for Matthew Stafford, 5 sacks in the game. What happened to that Rams O-line tonight?
Yeah, they just found a bigger, badder opponent, I would say. This was the first time that we've really seen a team put as much pressure as they did on the Rams. And it was more the internal pressure. We talked about Jeffrey Simmons, their defensive tackle from Mississippi State. He had 3 sacks alone. You tell me a defensive tackle had 3 sacks in an NFL week, and I'm saying,
unless his name's Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald does that every week.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're used to that. But it wasn't Aaron Donald. This was Jeffrey Simmons. I thought that was huge. Early on because they were getting great push, and then you had guys like Danico Autry who also had a sack and a half, the other defensive tackle. So their 2 interior rushers were having a field day. I think that's going to be an area of concern for the Rams. They have to figure it out because they walked David Edwards back to the quarterback a couple
of
times.
different times.
And I think that's also been a remedy or a recipe for Matthew Stafford's non-success because now all of a sudden he's a little jittery in the pocket. He's a little, I got to throw it. He missed a couple of reads today because I think he rushed the throws because that rush was getting to him early.
That's the recipe for making every quarterback's life difficult.
Correct.
Is just get him going the wrong way, get him off his spot, and all of a sudden things get far more challenging. The challenge lies with Sean McVeigh to get his squad ready for the San Francisco 49ers. He spoke with the media after the game.
First of all, congratulations to the Titans. Coach Vrabel and those guys did a good job. I didn't do nearly a good enough job for our football team tonight. We were uncharacteristic with the penalties, the turnovers, but I really think, the defense started off. They were giving us a chance. It was a good big-time interception by Jalen. And then ultimately, really just the momentum and the flow of the game. I didn't do nearly a good enough job of helping our players establish that, particularly on offense. You go back, you look at yourself critically, and we get these things corrected. But, that's all I know how to do. That's what we'll do. I trust the character of this locker room to be able to respond the right way. But not nearly good enough, and it starts with me. Yeah, I think I'm not sure. He came back, played, did a good job leading the touchdown drive, so he got it rolled up pretty good on, bad play call, bad situation I put him in right there, but I'm not really sure other than that.
See on his 2 interceptions?
Yeah, really just not giving him much of a chance. I got to help our players out a little bit more. They did a good job of being able to make some plays, and that's really what it boils down to.
What's going on with the offensive line? Were they just losing one-on-one battles? Is that correct?
There was a couple times where they did a good job being able to win some ISOs. There was a couple where some late movements ended up coming free. And again, I think it goes back to the feel, the flow for a game, being able to allow our players to get into a rhythm and establish that. And really, I don't think I did nearly a good enough job of helping us do that. And then also, I think some of the penalties. We're playing behind the sticks. They did a good job. They had some players that were able to win some one-on-ones, and we were uncharacteristic. But I think overall, you look at yourself and you say, hey, what can I do to make sure we establish a little bit better rhythm and routine? And that's where I'm very bothered at myself for that.
You have 11 penalties for 110 yards. At what point did you start to see it kind of get out of hand in that direction? How do you go about cleaning those up before your next?
Yeah, I think, you go back and you say, all right, we're not going to allow one game to define us. I don't think that's reflective of the type of football team we are. We had a rough night, and it really seemed like that was kind of the narrative for the night. Really it was, a lot of those things that occurred that are uncharacteristic, and I choose to believe that tonight was not the reflection of who we are. We can look at it, we'll correct it, and we'll keep it moving.
You had that last drive deep into the red zone. What was that a way to remind you guys that you can still do it?
Oh, yeah. They're playing softer coverages and things like that, too. So you do have to be mindful of that. But I did like the way that our guys competed to the end, found a way to make enough plays. Thought Matthew showed his guts and his resilience, and you certainly want to ride with guys like that.
You said you weren't concerned about Matthew's ability to play well tonight without practicing this week. Did that play out?
Yeah, I don't want to use that as a crutch. I really think it boils down to ultimately, did you really did I really put our team in positions to make plays and have a rhythm and routine like I keep talking about? I didn't. Did Matthew make some uncharacteristic plays? Yeah, he did, but I'm not going to say that that's a result of what occurred.
Sean, at times football comes down to obviously winning physical matchups.
Yep.
And it looked like you guys got physically beaten up front, particularly in the first half. We go back to the Arizona game, it was kind of that same thing where up front they got bullied. Why do you think that is, and is that an issue?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think tonight they did a great job in some isolated instances, and if it was one matchup that you felt like continued to show itself, then you'd say, all right, maybe that's a concern right there. But again, when you're playing behind the sticks, you become one-dimensional like we were. I think that's tough versus any defensive front, especially a really good team like they are. And we'll go back, we'll look at it, we'll clean it up, and I trust that we'll play better moving forward.
How close was Von Miller to playing, and what's the chances for next week?
We'll see. We'll take it a day at a time with Von right now. Yeah, we are. We're going to be smart with Von. He's doing everything in his power to be ready to go, and hopefully he's ready to go next week. But I don't have, I can't give you that answer right now.
Is there a way you can diagnose some of the problems you guys are repeatedly having on third down, particularly some of those third and long situations?
Well, third and long, we've been pretty. You talking about defensively or offensively? Yeah, we didn't convert tonight, but if you look at over the season, I bet you we're as good as anybody in the league. So. We just weren't very good as a whole offensively at all tonight. I don't think that's reflective of the type of unit, the operation that we want to have, and looking forward to the opportunity to respond.
When they overturned the touchdown, I'm assuming you kicked the field goal because you're thinking enough time.
Yeah.
Still, were you close to going for it at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at how early that was in the second half, you felt like that was the smart decision. I thought our defense was playing really well and kind of was able to maybe say, let's capitalize on this momentum. But, that was a play that didn't go in our favor.
Wrap it up your team tonight.
What's that?
What did you learn about your team tonight?
Well, I learned that, we've got to play cleaner football. I've learned that I didn't do a good enough job for this team. And I think you learn that, I'm looking forward to seeing what we learn from our response. That's where I think we can learn the most. And the last time that we had a setback with this group, loved the way they responded on a short week, coming off that Arizona loss against Seattle. And now we'll get an opportunity to respond this week.
All right, so that's Sean McVeigh after the loss tonight, 28-16 to the Tennessee Titans. Couple of things there, Kirk, that I thought were really interesting. One, his response to whether or not they were out-physicaled, and two, uncharacteristic plays from Matt Stafford. We're going to pick it up there, plus we're going to hear from number 99, Aaron Donald. That's all coming up on the Coors Light Postgame Show on 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN. Don't miss the Coors Light Postgame Show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA Sports Talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour. Now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan. Hit it!
The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN.
Has the snap, has the throw, right side, picked off again at the 25, returned on the left sideline for a touchdown. And back-to-back takeaways for this Tennessee defense.
Rams slipped to 7-2.
We recap Rams Titans from SoFi Stadium.
This is the Coors Light Postgame Show, live at Hollywood Park Casino.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Hi, this is Sean Mcveigh of your LA Rams.
The Rams play here.
All on the field. 1, 2, 3. Get it all here.
We get you closer to all that went down right now on the Coors Light Postgame Show.
Coors Light.
Keeping Southern California chill all season long.
The Coors Light Postgame Show.
Here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
28-16, the final score from SoFi Stadium. The Titans beat the Rams. And a couple of interesting answers, Kirk, I thought, in the Sean McVay press conference that we just heard there a little bit ago. You could tell, and coaches do not like this question, and they almost never agree with the assessment when the question is asked to them, but it did feel like a fair question. It felt like a good question.
Yeah.
That did the Rams get out-physicaled by the Tennessee Titans? And he said, well, maybe there was play here or there, but it sure felt like Tennessee was the more physical team tonight.
Yeah, it sure did. And you saw it in some areas where, the Rams just really didn't match that intensity. They came, they hit hard, they got to the quarterback with bad intentions. They just played a different brand of football. It just seemed that they got outgained. Like, it wasn't like it was when you look at the stats, the Rams
dominated.
They dominated in stats. But It was a kind of a sense of we're going to run the football, even though we don't have Derrick Henry. It's just who we are. It's just our identity. And they ran it effectively. They ran it well. And then you get down there by the goal line, and you kind of pushed them around. Think about it. Their plays were a bootleg to the opposite side, right? And Tannehill comes in and scores a touchdown, flips the ball.
Finger roll.
It was because they were running the football effectively, they fake a handoff, find Swain, the tight end, in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. And then, Adrian Peterson, they handed it off, and he powered his way. That's 3 of their 4 touchdowns right there. And it was not on the ground, but because of the mentality of what they made out throughout the game of making the Rams feel like they had to match the intensity, the physical play, they beat them because they were over-aggressive on 3 plays. Over-aggressive. Again, Tannehill, outside, touchdown, pump fake, Swain, touchdown, and then hand it off. Adrian Peterson doing what Adrian Peterson has done.
Speaking of, that Adrian Peterson touchdown was the 125th career touchdown for Adrian Peterson. That ties him for 11th all-time in NFL history with the great late Walter Payton. All right, so let's talk about the top 3 performances of the day, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Yeah. Good times. Here, let me just throw this out at you, Kirk, because I looked at this and I couldn't believe it. I double and triple checked it. Cooper Kupp had 11 catches for 95 yards today, and I don't know if I can remember 2 of them.
Yeah. That was the quietest. 11 catches?
11 catches for 95 yards.
If you would have told me 11 targets, maybe, but 11 catches, I didn't see that coming. I did not understand how he got that many catches. It was probably it was quiet.
Very.
There was no loud plays at all today for the Rams. There was no loud plays. The loud plays are – I think maybe 1 or 2 to Robert Woods because they were on critical down and distances, like a 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12, and they found those. But there wasn't those big plays that really got going that I thought the Rams would definitely take advantage of. They had an opportunity, the one we wrote down. Van Jefferson just couldn't hang on to one.
It was a great throw. It was probably the best throw of the night for Matthew Stafford. Hit him right in the hands, and he wasn't able to hold on to it. And the Rams ultimately ended up having to kick a field goal on that drive instead of getting a touchdown. Tyler Higbee out of the back of the end zone. Just another brick in the wall of everything that did not go the Rams' way tonight. Matthew Stafford, 31 of 48, 294, 1 touchdown, couple interceptions, which brings us to the other thing that he talked about with Sean Mcveigh a minute ago, saying that, a couple of uncharacteristic plays from Matthew Stafford. Now, uncharacteristic so far through the first 9 games of this season, for sure. Matthew Stafford only had 4 interceptions coming into the game today, through 2 more today. Is it just uncharacteristic for today, this season? Because if I'm looking at my timeline on Twitter, Kirk, Lions fans, people from outside of the city say, no, that's not uncharacteristic. I've seen a whole bunch of that along the way.
I think this was maybe uncharacteristic. It's probably his worst game. And I think he has to find different ways to figure out how to be more effective. Maybe it's the 49ers defense that, Sean McVay knows pretty well. Maybe they can execute a little bit better. Maybe because of the scheme that they play in San Francisco is better fit to what the Rams want to do offensively. Because what I thought Tennessee was doing, they were confusing Matthew Stafford. I mean, that interception by Kevin Byard to start the game, he sold as if he was playing cover 2, came down late and robbed that play. Right, Matthew Stafford never saw him.
Well, it's so funny because we're sitting up in the press box, you're high, and the second you saw him look there, you're like, no, not there, and then boom, there he goes, and he's down the rail, and sure enough, that was the second touchdown of the game for the Tennessee Titans. All right, we're going to hear from Aaron Donald. We're going to hear from Matthew Stafford. That's all still straight ahead on the Coors Light Postgame Show on 710 ESPN.
.710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN. Don't miss the Coors Light Postgame Show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there? Whose house?
Whose house? Rams house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA sports talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour. Now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan.
Hit it! The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN. Closer to all that went down right now on the Coors Light Postgame Show.
Coors Light, keeping Southern California chill all season long.
On the ESPN LA Rams Radio Network.
This is the Coors Light Postgame Show, live at Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Once again, here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
28-16, the final score. The Rams fall to the Tennessee Titans. They are now 7-2. Up next, the San Francisco 49ers coming up on Monday Night Football a week from tomorrow night. And one of the things that the Rams are going to have to get cleaned up is some protection up along the front of that offensive line. 5 sacks for Matthew Stafford tonight. Only 4 all season long coming into the game, especially that pressure up the middle. One of the guys on that O-line, Andrew Whitworth, spoke with the media after the game.
Yeah, well, I think it was one of those days, a couple plays really kind of defined the game. I mean, you look at it early in the game, thought they just kind of did a good job of covering us downfield and won a lot down there and kind of made what I'd call some coverage-type plays. And then really, unfortunately, 2 mistakes by us and then a couple just where we just weren't clean enough to get touchdowns there as we got some momentum. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those games you just keep battling and hopefully something ticks and we get hot and just weren't able to do that today.
Aaron, physically, it seemed like they were kind of bullying you guys at first half. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons had 3 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. What was going on up front? Was it more physical? Was it breakdown by you guys?
I think if you went back and looked at those plays, especially early, some of those were what I would call the ball still sitting back there and nobody's open down the field and kind of late. I think he had one good rush there at kind of late second quarter where I thought he just beat a guy up front. Outside of that, I mean, we're running the football at a pretty good tick, which would be more the physical part of the game. And then, really backed up situation. I thought they had a late rush there. We had a late looper that kind of came late on the play. Another one that we'll have to look at and see if there's something we can do differently. But, again, another one where, you just want to be cleaner. But if we look out through the season, I mean, a lot of the times either the ball's been out or we've been able to kind of convert in that situation too. And I think that's the tough thing. When you play in some of these games and these teams are going to play coverage, it's a battle. I mean, sometimes the ball gets out, sometimes it doesn't. I wouldn't say that I agree very much about the physical part because I thought we were running the football really well. And then I thought really some of the sacks they had were more late coverage type situations where, we just, for whatever reason, up front weren't as clean as we wanted to be and weren't able to get the ball.
Yep, gone. Week 9 of the NFL season, and the Rams suffer their worst loss of the 2021 season so far, a 28-16 defeat at the hands of the Tennessee Titans. And Tennessee absolutely looked like what they are, the number 1 seed in the AFC. Tennessee at 7-2, just like the Rams. Now, statistically, that game was all Los Angeles, both in passing, on the ground, but on the scoreboard, it was all Tennessee. The eye test, all Tennessee. Tennessee, the more physical team. On Sunday Night Football, they dominated the Rams up front. 5 sacks of Matthew Stafford, who just had been sacked 4 times coming into the game tonight. 5 more, plus 12 penalties for the Rams. Very uncharacteristic for them along the way. And 2 big interceptions from Matthew Stafford, including a pick 6, including another one that was just a jump ball in the middle of the field that set up the Tennessee Titans' first touchdown of the night. With Monday's Rams Report, I'm Travis Rogers.
Because you know what? That's all you ever want. It's a chance to respond from a bad day.
Did you tell your teammates that?
Yeah, told them that in the locker room. I mean, again, I think these kind of games can look one way or the other, and the reality is they can come down to a few moments. And they made a few big plays and some moments that we didn't. And that's really how you lose in this league. So it's a wake-up call to, it doesn't matter if you play well, if you play good in certain moments. If in big moments you don't make the plays that need to be had or you give away plays, you know what, this is how you feel. And I don't think that's on the quarterback. I don't think that's on the line. I don't think that's on the running back or the receivers or the coaches. It's on all of us. And we all have that opportunity to respond. And so all of us have to respond in our best performance possible come next Monday night.
As he typically does after a loss, Sean blamed himself mostly for it. But as players, what could you guys have done better, either in the preparation or just in the execution of the game plan?
Well, I think we'll go back and look. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's some situations like that. Like I said, I mean, to your point, in the first half where they've hit Matthew a couple times. I mean, it was some stuff where they're kind of coming from all over the place, and it's a little bit of, how we've played offensively and how we've done things. But get the ball down the field also means that you're holding it a little longer. And I think that they had some good plans for how they were going to twist and stunt and move around and do things. And so I think it's one of those that gives you a great learning op. I think you look at 2018, we made it to the Super Bowl. You look at that season, no matter how many runs we went on, there was always this opportunity in the season where some team had a response to what you did well. Like, hey, this is this team's plan now for you're going to do these things really well. Okay, now we've seen it. How can we handle that better the next time? How can we respond? And I think this is another opportunity here where, okay, they had a good plan and they came up with some stuff that they thought worked well, and we'll go back and look at it and see if it was physical errors or if it was things where, maybe there's a better way we can do this. And I think that's what NFL football is about, is how you grow and continue to get better through the bumps through the season. And they're always going to be there. And so I think this is our opportunity to see what those bumps look like and what we can do to fix them.
And as Sean mentioned after that he liked the response you guys had after the Cardinals game. What is it about that response in particular that you'll look to mimic or replicate this week to try to get the result you want?
Well, I think in a similar game, a game where we felt like we played pretty good up front and played pretty well as an offense, but just made silly mistakes and kind of kicked ourselves and did things where you're like, okay, we're handing them opportunities because we're just not executing things that we do on a daily basis, not just in games, but daily basis that we usually handle well. And so I think that it was one of those things where it was an opportunity where you're like, all right, we've really set ourselves up this way. And I think this game was identical, maybe even worse in my opinion, because it really, if we don't give them 2 plays, I think it's a whole different ball game. So, you hand a team 14 points that's a winning football team, and not to forget they're top team in the AFC. You can't do that in the NFL and plan to win. I mean, that's just not winning football. That's not our identity. That's not who we've been. And we did it today, and I think all of us will be better for it.
With the 12 penalties today, is that just frustration or just things piling on?
Yeah, I don't know what the count is of what each ones are. I mean, some of them are, I think were some late hits, some of them were personal fouls, some holds, false starts, all that stuff. So I think that, when you look at these games when you're down, I think, you have a tendency to see that you've usually hurt yourself in multiple ways. And I think this is another example of we hurt ourselves with penalties as well. I wouldn't say that we had a bunch that really, I would say were critical early in the game, but, really offensively late in the game, I think you're trying to get things off and do things. Some of that's going to come up. But it's definitely something that, again, that's not really something that's us. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to look at the game and say, here's some mistakes early that we made that aren't us, and here's some penalty situations that just aren't us. If we just keep our poise and play like winners, we'll have the opportunity to be in that situation to have a chance to win at the end.
As you guys prepare for the upcoming game against the 49ers, obviously being a division game, but how big is this game for you all, not just physically, but mentally, knowing the history for the last couple of seasons going up against that team?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at it, they've been a great example, a team that we've kind of had those kind of games against. I mean, if you look at it last year, really kind of had some meltdown situations in their games against them, and really not jumping on opportunities that we had in those games. And then the year before, really, I think in the second half, kind of multiple times turning the ball over either right before the half or right out of the half against them. That's been for touchdowns or run back for touchdowns, things where that's kind of been the game we've played against. And, funny how the league works. You play a game like this, and then you're going to go against a team that's kind of been what you've done, and so we got a chance to respond over the last couple of years and show the winning kind of program that we are.
All right, so that's Andrew Whitworth after the loss today. Kirk, and forgive me if I'm just kind of reading between the lines here a little bit.
Yeah.
But somebody that's been around the league as long as Andrew Whitworth has had the success that Andrew Whitworth has. What I'm hearing is, guys, everybody calm down. We're 7-2.
Yeah.
We're fine. We had a bad night. That's what I heard.
Sounds a lot like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Right? Just calm down.
R-E-L-A-X.
Hey, man. Yeah. Just relax. We'll be fine. And I think that's what it is. It's, hey, bad things happen. This was a bad game. Look around the NFL. A lot happened. We'll be fine, fellas. We'll just show up to work tomorrow.
Matthew Stafford, a couple of rough interceptions along the way. We'll hear from him next on the Coors Light Postgame Show on 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN. Don't miss the Coors Light Postgame Show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA sports talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour. Now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan.
Hit it! The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN. Once again, here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
You know, Kirk, one of the things that we did not see tonight for the Rams, something that has been kind of a signature of theirs, and the stat that you've been talking about, the WAOs,
yes.
the wide receivers, the wide-ass opens that we've talked about so often.
Tonight.
No WAOs tonight. There was nobody
no.
just running free by 4 or 5 yards the way that we've seen through the first part of the season.
Yeah, they took care of all of those plays. They played deep in their coverage. And those are experienced safeties, man. I think Kevin Byard He's one of the safeties who, first of all, is a great interview, by the way, but a guy who led the league in picks a couple years ago because he reads things and sees it. And I think that's what Vrabel, who's of a Belichick disciple, he took what the Rams do well away. And we've seen that before, right?
We saw it in Super Bowl 53. What do you do well? Okay, we're going to make you do something else. You don't get to do that. You're going to get to do some stuff, but you don't get to do that along the way. It did not go the Rams' way, 28-16, in large part because Matthew Stafford had a pretty rough night, a couple of interceptions, including that pick six from Bayard that you mentioned, Kirk. Here's Matt Stafford speaking with the media after the loss.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, guys got a hold of me. I got to do a better job probably just falling on that one or throwing it over Robert's head maybe earlier. Was trying to maybe get back through it, but can't have that. I basically spotted him 14 points. I mean, can't do that in the NFL, especially against a good team like that wants to, get out in front, run the football, mix coverages, do all that kind of stuff. So just wasn't good enough early in the game. Turnovers really, killed us, and those were on me. So, if I clean those up, and I know I will, I got a lot of confidence in this team to go out there and play some, really good football. Our defense played good. Good enough to keep us in the game, good enough to really, if we don't turn the ball over twice, give us a chance to win that one. So, got to play better myself, first and foremost.
Were you hurt at all by your back or by being limited?
No, I felt good. Felt good physically. Just didn't do enough early in the game. I took a couple sacks early in the game, too, that kind of helped them build a little bit of momentum where I could have probably gotten the ball out. Was probably trying to be a little bit too aggressive and hold on to it a little bit. So, there's a lot of things I can do and clean up and be better. I'll take a hard look at myself and know, I got a big opportunity on Monday night next week to go out there and, play well.
Did you feel out of sync, or were a lot of those coverage situations that you found yourself holding the ball longer?
Yeah, I think I just got to get it out. There were guys underneath open. I was trying to probably do a little bit too much, and just got to play within the scheme, play within myself, and do that a little bit better. Felt like kind of settled in the second half, but at that point, I'd done too much damage really, early in that game to get us out of it. I love the way our guys fought. We were close, maybe if the Higbee touchdown stands, it's a different ball game there late. So I love the way our guys fight and the way they battle. I always appreciate that, but just got to be cleaner. Turnovers, penalties, all those kind of things hurt us tonight.
On the first interception, I mean, every quarterback's gone through this before. You're deciding, should I take the sack, give them the 2 points, and of course you want to throw it incomplete and get out of it. What goes through your mind in those nanoseconds? What are you thinking about? Because obviously afterwards you say, I wish I had taken the sack in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reactionary football. Football's a reactionary game. I just got to make a better decision there. I mean, I'm been doing this long enough to know that can't just throw one right down the middle of the field there. If I can find the sideline somewhere and get it out, that's probably a better option. So try to do that one next time.
How much do you think the atypical practice week and not being able to practice really affected today?
Not for me. It didn't feel like that was an issue. Really just execution when we were out there. Wasn't good enough on my part. So I'll just got to be a little bit better.
When you say some of those sacks you holding the ball, how many of those would you say?
I'm going to have to go look at the tape. But, for sure, the first couple early on, there was one late as well on a third down. Probably could have gotten one out where we ended up kicking a field goal. I got to go look at it. But, yeah, too many of them.
So that's you looking for a big play as opposed to just taking one?
Just got to, do a better job of getting the ball out. Our guys up front were, giving me enough time, and I just got to make sure that, just stay ahead of the chains, keep the sticks moving, and not try to force too much anything down the field. I mean, you just turn the tape on, learn from it. I've been doing this a long time. Had a bunch of good games, had a bunch of bad games before. I know what it looks like to go out there and respond and play well the next week. I think our team does. We did it earlier this year. We plan on doing it again.
Sean mentioned earlier your response to the Cardinals game and just being pleased with it. What did that look like in the days that followed as far as just the way you guys worked and prepared that set you up for success?
Yeah, I mean, I think no different than most of the days we're in there. We got a great team that is full of guys that care about putting the right stuff out there every single day. So I know we'll show up to work ready to go. Pissed off about losing the game, absolutely. But ready to go out there and make whatever mistakes we made in this game, make them right, and make sure we do a good job next time we're out on the field.
How tough is it to exercise that patience when
know very well the big play capability of this offense?
It shouldn't be tough. I just got to take what the defense gives me. They were doing a great job of trying to keep it all in front of them tonight, and I didn't do a good enough job of just, checking it down early in the game and keeping us ahead of the sticks and doing all the things that would give, build positive momentum for our team. If I do that, it's probably a different ballgame.
All right, so that's Matthew Stafford after the loss tonight, and he said it at the beginning, Kirk, I spotted them 14 points, and you don't want to say, look, it's a team effort. You win as a team, you lose as a team. We all know that. But Matthew Stafford put his team in a very tricky spot right out of the gate.
Yeah, he knew it. He said, look, man, it's on me. I put us, 2 interceptions right there, put us behind the 8 ball. We never really overcame that. And you can say that's the crazy part in the NFL. You know that 2 mistakes early on can cost you a football game. He'll clean it up. This is what veterans do. And they get a chance to do it next Monday night.
28-16 is the final score from SoFi Stadium. The Titans are 7-2. They're still on top of the AFC. The Rams at 7-2 as well. Up next, the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. Rams get back-to-back primetime games along the way. For Kirk Morrison, I am Travis Rogers, and this has been the Coors Light Postgame Show on 710 ESPN.
Some people hate daylight savings time, but for
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
Listen every Monday during football season to Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN. Don't miss the Coors Light Postgame Show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA Sports Talk all day long. 710 ESPN.